Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you very much for joining me today as we count down to Sale-A-Bration. Sale-A-Bration is a great time in the Stampin' Up calendar. It's running from the 5th of January to the 28th of February this year. And what Sale-A-Bration means is during this period, if you spend £45 with me in my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, you get to choose a free item from the Sale-A-Bration catalogue. If you buy £90 worth of product from me, from my store, you can get either 2 Sale-A-Bration items or you can get one of the larger Sale-A-Bration items free. Starting on Monday the 2nd, I'm going to start a 3, 2, 1 countdown. So on the 2nd will be the 3rd day, and I'll be doing a project featuring a new stamp set from the Sale-A-Bration catalogue. On the 3rd, it will be 2 days, and I will again be featuring new Sale-A-Bration products. And again on the 4th, it'll be one more day to Sale-A-Bration, and I'll be showing you another Sale-A-Bration item. On the 5th, join me back on my YouTube channel because I will be doing a run through and showing you the inside of the catalogues and what you can get for free over the next 2-month period. Hopefully you enjoy the 3, 2, 1 countdowns and get excited for Sale-A-Bration. There's lots of great stuff you can get and it will all be on my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, from the 5th of January. And today it's the last day of our countdown and I'm using the Beautifully Happy stamp set. This is a double stamp set from Sale-A-Bration, so you would need to purchase £90 worth of products from my store to enable you to add this one to your cart. It's really cute. It's got the outlines and the insert, so you can stamp on the insert. Today I'm just going to be using the outline and I'm going to be doing some blending. So I'm using this gorgeous big picture, and I'm going to be stamping this with my Memento ink pad, stamping it down, and then I'm going to start colouring. I'm using Granny Apple Green, dark and light on the leaves. For the flowers, I'm going to be using Flirty Flamingo, dark and light, and I'm going to be using Daffodil Delight just to be on the inside of the main flower towards the centre. I have used this stamp set quite a few times already. I think it's really beautiful. I like how you can use the double stamp and you can colour it yourself. So what you'd do is you'd stamp the outline, then you'd stamp the insert into a bright colour and stamp it into the insert. I do like that, but you know me, I like colouring. So far I've done this with watercolour pencils. That is up on my channel, and this is today is with blends, and I'm looking forward to colouring this a whole host of times because I think it's just absolutely beautiful. Both times I've done it with Flirty Flamingo, so for me, they're clearly very pink flowers, which is unusual because I do normally try to use other colours for flowers, but this does look nice as a pink. So I'm going to be cutting this one out. I'm going to fussy cut it, and I'm actually fussy cutting it along the lines, which is unusual for me. Normally I do like to leave a gap, but I decided on this one not to, and to cut along the lines, which ended up being a slight mistake because some of this is quite thin. So there's a leaf towards the bottom that is just held on by a stem, and then these bits at the top here are also quite thin, and I thought I was at risk of damaging it, so I did leave some white card to sort of steady it and hope that that wouldn't be obvious at the end. Okay, if you did want to colour that in, it would probably make it less obvious. So if you used an ivory or a soft seafoam or something like that that's light but would just take away the starkness of the white. I then decided to create myself my own tag. Love this punch. This is so good, from the annual catalogue. And I'm going to pop my flower on top of this, but I thought it looked too sparse like that, so I decided to add some background colour. So first of all, I added my ribbon, which is this iridescent trim, which is just beautiful. I stuck it down and angled the top so it looked like a proper tag. And then I decided to bring in my Granny Apple Green ink and my blending brushes to add some colour into the background. So what I'm doing with this is I'm just sticking around the edge of the tag. And then I'm also going to do the ribbon as well. The ribbon is a lovely white, which means it was very easy to make the ribbon turn into the Granny Apple Green colour and then add the image on top. There's some splatters in this in this stamp set, which is just fun and adds a grunge background. So I've decided to grab that with basic grey. I didn't want it to be a stark black, so I've gone with basic grey. And I've just stamped a few of those in the background, just like that, to add a little bit of texture. And then I've stuck it up with dimensionals. For the dimensionals, you can use the mini dimensionals on the small part, or you can just snip them in half and add the half a dimensional on as well. It will just hold it up a little bit better. So I was quite tempted to leave this as it was and have this project as a tag. I think that's beautiful and would look great on a present. However, I decided to go the whole hog and create this into a card. So my card backing is 10.5 centimetres by 14.8, and I've done the exact same thing with my granny apple green going around the sides. I have just done the sides and left the middle totally spark white. Thought that was quite nice. And then when I looked at it with a tag on there, I thought it looks a bit samey. So I decided to add some vellum to my project. So the vellum I've cut at 10 centimetres by 14.35, so that's just a slight frame. And I've added my adhesive in the middle of the card so that when I add my tag on, you won't notice it. I've used our foam backing for this so that it stays up straight. I probably should have measured it before I put it on there, but I never really thought. Pulled the backing off, and now that's going to stick on perfectly and it's not going to flatten it any bit. And then I've added a sentiment. So I've added a happy birthday sentiment. I've got a few birthdays coming up, so I thought this would be perfect. Basic grey so that it matches with the ink spats I used earlier, onto some whisper white, and then I have just cut round it. I've cut round it very tight, which I like doing with some sentiments. If I'm not going to be using a punch, I do normally quite like to cut round them tight, round the curves, and I think it just elevates that sort of unusual font that's in that set. Once I've cut that round, I'm just going to be using some of my foam backing from earlier, the bit that I had overcut, and I'm going to stick that on the back of here, ready to add onto my project. As you can see, I've really gone tight with this. I've even cut in between the letters so that you can see how they just pop out, and it will look quite fun on the card. And I'm going to stick it onto the tag. I did think about sticking it around the side, but I thought having all the detail on the tag was a bit more fun and created a bit more interest as a focal piece. So I stuck that on and then added it to my card base. I already keep my card bases cut, so they're A5, scored in half to make an A6 card, and I've just added that on there using seal. And finally, I'm using the metallic, the pearlized metallic effects, and I've just popped a bit of those on the corners to finish the project off. So what do you think? I quite like it. It's very bright and pow and wow. But yeah, how great is that for a free stamp set? You can earn this free when you purchase from my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Spend £90 and you'll be able to add this into your basket for free. Such a cute set. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you all tomorrow when I walk you through the catalogues. Thanks everybody. Bye.